The diplomatic vessel Harmony's Edge moved silently through space, carrying its precious cargo toward the neutral zone. Sam Torres checked his weapon for the 10th time that hour. The human mercenary had taken many jobs in his 5 years working the outer systems, but protecting alien royalty was a first. Princess Vera sat across from him in the main cabin, her crystalline skin catching the soft lights of the ship. The Zephyrian royal was young by her people's standards, maybe equivalent to a human in their 20s. Her blue-tinted features showed worry as she stared out at the stars. "The negotiations will work," Sam said, trying to sound confident. "Your people want peace as much as the Koroth do." Vera turned to him with large, silver eyes. "I hope you are right, Sam Torres. Too much blood has been spilled already." The war between the Zephyrian Empire and the Koroth Federation had raged for 3 years. Billions had died on both sides. This peace summit was their last hope before the conflict consumed entire star systems. Captain Reeves, the ship's human commander, entered the cabin. "We're 2 hours from the meeting point, Your Highness. No sign of trouble on the sensors." Sam nodded but kept his hand near his sidearm. Something felt wrong. The journey had been too quiet, too easy. In his experience, when things looked perfect, danger was usually close behind. The lights suddenly flickered. Then the ship shuddered violently. "What was that?" Vera asked, her crystalline features showing alarm. Captain Reeves was already speaking into his comm unit. "Bridge, report." The response crackled with static and panic. "Captain, we've got multiple contacts dropping out of hyperspace. They're not responding to hails and they're powering weapons." Another violent shake threw them against their seats. The lights went red as the ship's alert system activated. "Who are they?" Reeves demanded. "Unknown configuration, but they're firing some kind of energy weapon that's cutting through our shields like paper." Sam was already moving. "Princess, we need to get you to the safe room. Now." The safe room was deep in the ship's core, designed to protect VIPs if the worst happened. It had independent life support, communication equipment, and armor thick enough to survive most attacks. They ran through corridors filled with crew members scrambling to their stations. The ship shook again, harder this time. Emergency lighting cast everything in an eerie red glow. "This way," Sam called, leading them down a maintenance corridor that would take them to the safe room faster. Behind them, they heard Captain Reeves shouting orders. "All hands to battle stations. Get me a shield report. And find out who these people are." They reached the safe room just as another blast rocked the ship. Sam quickly entered the access code and ushered Vera inside. The room was small but well equipped, with monitors showing the ship's status and communication arrays. "Stay here," Sam told her. "Don't open this door for anyone except me or Captain Reeves." Vera grabbed his arm. "Where are you going?" "To help defend the ship." "But your job is to protect me." Sam looked at her seriously. "I can't protect you if the ship is destroyed. I'll be back." He stepped outside and sealed the door behind him. The corridor was chaos now. Crew members ran past carrying emergency supplies and weapons. The ship's internal communication system crackled with damage reports. Sam made his way to the bridge, where he found Captain Reeves coordinating the defense. The main screen showed 3 sleek black ships attacking them with focused energy beams. "Who are they?" Sam asked. "We think they're Zephyrian extremists," Reeves replied grimly. "The ones who don't want peace with the Koroth. They want to stop the negotiations. Or eliminate the princess to make sure they never happen again." The ship shuddered as another blast hit them. One of the bridge officers called out, "Shields at 30% and failing fast." Sam's blood ran cold. "How long until they break through?" "At this rate? Maybe 20 minutes. What about help? Can anyone reach us in time?" Reeves shook his head. "The nearest patrol is 4 hours away. We sent a distress signal, but he didn't need to finish. They were on their own. Captain, another officer reported, they're moving into position for a boarding action. Sam's mind raced. If the attackers boarded the ship, they would head straight for the princess. The safe room was strong, but it wouldn't hold forever against determined attackers with the right equipment. I'm going back to guard the princess, Sam said. Take whatever you need from the armory, Reeves replied. We'll try to keep them busy up here. Sam ran to the ship's small weapons storage and grabbed everything he could carry. Extra ammunition, a few grenades, and a powerful plasma rifle along with his sidearm. It wasn't much against an entire boarding party, but it would have to do. He reached the safe room just as the ship's lights went out completely. Emergency power kicked in a moment later, but the dim backup lighting made everything look like a horror movie. Sam entered the safe room to find Vera monitoring the ship's communications. Her face was pale with worry. The attackers are Zephyrian, she said quietly. I heard them on the comm channels. They call themselves the Pure Flame Faction. Extremists? The worst kind. They believe mixing with other species weakens the Empire. They would rather see our people die fighting than make peace. The ship suddenly lurched, and they heard the distinctive sound of docking clamps engaging. They're boarding, Sam said, checking his weapons one final time. How many? Unknown. But probably more than I can handle in a straight fight. Vera looked at him with those large silver eyes. Then what do we do? Sam activated the room's security monitors. He could see armed figures in black armor moving through the ship's corridors. They moved with military precision, clearing each section methodically. We make this as difficult as possible for them, Sam said. And we hope help arrives before they get through to us. The monitors showed the boarders had reached the ship's central section. They would find the safe room soon. Princess, I need you to get behind that console and stay down. No matter what happens, don't come out until either I tell you it's safe or Captain Reeves comes for you personally. What about you? I'll be right here. Sam positioned himself behind a barrier near the door, plasma rifle ready. The room's thick armor would protect them for a while, but the attackers would bring cutting tools. Or worse. Minutes passed in tense silence. Then they heard it, footsteps in the corridor outside. Multiple sets of boots moving with purpose. Found it, a voice called in Zephyrian. Sam didn't speak the language, but Vera's sharp intake of breath told him everything he needed to know. They found us, she whispered. Stay down, Sam replied quietly. Something heavy struck the door. Then again. The attackers were testing the barrier's strength. A new voice spoke outside, giving orders in harsh Zephyrian. Sam looked at Vera questioningly. Their leader, she translated in a whisper. He says to bring the cutting charges. Sam's jaw tightened. He'd hoped for more time, but the extremists had come prepared. Military-grade cutting charges would breach the safe room's armor in minutes. The first explosion shook the entire room. Emergency lights flickered as debris rained from the ceiling. A section of the door glowed red-hot where the charge had detonated. How long? Sam asked. Vera watched the damage with terrified eyes. 3 more charges like that, maybe 4. The second explosion came faster than expected. The door buckled inward, and Sam could see the corridor through a smoking gap. Princess, he said calmly, whatever happens, remember that your people need you alive. The peace negotiations depend on you. Don't let these extremists win. Sam, you don't have to do this alone. I can fight. No. Your job is to survive and make peace. My job is to make sure you get that chance. The third explosion tore a hole large enough for a person to climb through. Sam raised his rifle and waited. A black armored figure appeared in the gap, weapon raised. Sam fired first, his plasma bolt sending the attacker tumbling backward. Shouts erupted from the corridor. One down, Sam muttered. The attackers tried a coordinated rush, 3 coming through the breach at once. Sam's military training took over. He fired rapidly, forcing them back with accurate shots. One attacker fell, another stumbled with an injured shoulder. But more kept coming. Sam fell back to a better position, using the room's equipment as cover. Energy bolts sizzled past his head as the attackers established their own positions just outside the breach. "Surrender the princess," one of them called in accented standard. "You cannot win, human." "Come and take her," Sam replied, firing another burst. The battle settled into a deadly pattern. The attackers would advance, Sam would drive them back with precise fire, then they would regroup and try again. His superior position and the room's layout gave him an advantage, but his ammunition wouldn't last forever. 20 minutes passed. Then 30. Sam had lost count of how many attackers he'd driven back or wounded. His shoulder burned where an energy bolt had grazed him, and his left hand was numb from a piece of shrapnel. "Sam," Vera called softly. "You're bleeding." "I'm fine," he lied. The wound was worse than he'd let on, but stopping to treat it would give the attackers the opening they needed. An hour passed. The attackers had tried everything, frontal assaults, grenades, even attempting to cut through the walls from adjacent rooms. Each time, Sam had stopped them, but the cost was mounting. His ammunition was running low, and more wounds decorated his arms and torso. "Why do you fight so hard for an alien?" one of the attackers called during a brief lull. "We offer you safe passage if you surrender the princess." Sam checked his remaining energy cells. Maybe enough for another hour of fighting, if he was careful. "Because I gave my word," he called back. Another assault began. This time they came from 2 directions, having finally broken through the wall of an adjacent storage room. Sam had to divide his fire, and one attacker nearly made it to Vera's hiding spot before Sam's desperate shot dropped him. 2 hours now. Sam's vision was starting to blur from blood loss, but he kept fighting. The attackers had paid a heavy price for every inch, and their enthusiasm was fading. 3 hours. Sam was running on pure adrenaline and stubborn determination. His left arm hung useless, and he could taste blood where he'd bitten through his tongue during an explosion. "Sam," Vera whispered during another brief break in the fighting. "Please, let me help. I know how to use a weapon." "No," Sam gasped. "You stay hidden." "That's an order." 4 hours. 5. The attacks came in waves now, as the extremists brought up more fighters to replace their casualties. Sam's ammunition was almost gone, reduced to making every shot count. 6 hours into the siege, Sam was down to his sidearm and 3 energy cells. Multiple wounds covered his body, and he could barely stay upright. But the attackers had paid an enormous price. The corridor outside was littered with their wounded and equipment. "Last chance, human," their leader called. "Surrender now and live." Sam looked back at Princess Vera, who watched him with tears in her silver eyes. Behind her, the communication console showed a new signal: Zephyrian Royal Guard ships, still an hour away but closing fast. 1 hour, he whispered to himself. Just 1 more hour. He turned back to face the breach, raised his sidearm with his one good hand, and called out his answer. "Come and take her." The final assault began just as Sam's strength finally gave out. He managed 3 more shots before his vision went black and he collapsed to the floor, his body no longer able to continue the impossible fight. The last thing he heard before unconsciousness took him was the sound of Royal Guard weapons firing in the corridors outside, and Princess Vera's voice calling his name. Sam Torres drifted in and out of consciousness for 3 days. When he finally opened his eyes fully, the world looked strange. Everything seemed to glow with a soft blue light, and the air tasted different. Medical equipment surrounded his bed, making quiet beeping sounds that he didn't recognize. "You are awake," a gentle voice said beside him. Sam turned his head slowly. Princess Vera sat in a chair next to his bed, her crystalline features showing relief and worry in equal measure. She looked tired, as if she hadn't slept in days. "Where are we?" Sam's voice came out as a harsh whisper. His throat felt like sandpaper. "The Royal Medical Center on Zephyros Prime," Vera replied. "The capital world of our empire. You have been unconscious for 72 hours. Sam tried to sit up but immediately regretted it. Pain shot through his entire body, and his left arm felt completely numb. The attack. Did we win? The Royal Guard arrived just in time. They eliminated the remaining extremists. Vera's expression darkened. 15 pure flame terrorists. You held them off for 6 hours with just small arms and determination. The guards found 12 of them wounded in that corridor. Good, Sam said, then coughed. The simple act made his chest burn with pain. Vera pressed a button, and a Zephyrian doctor hurried into the room. The alien physician was tall and thin, with the same crystalline skin as the princess but older, more weathered looking. "Ah, the human is conscious," the doctor said, checking various instruments around Sam's bed. "This is unexpected." "Unexpected?" Sam asked. The doctor exchanged a look with Princess Vera. "You were exposed to pure flame energy weapons. They use a specific type of radiation that is designed to be lethal to most carbon-based life forms. The toxins from these weapons are currently destroying your cellular structure." Sam felt a cold dread settle in his stomach. "How long do I have?" "Perhaps a few days, maybe a week at most. I am sorry, but our medicine is not compatible with human biology. We cannot counteract the toxins." "There must be something you can do," Vera said urgently. "He saved my life. Surely there is some treatment, some way to help him." The doctor's expression was sympathetic but firm. "Princess, we have tried everything within our knowledge. Human physiology is simply too different from ours. The same treatments that would heal a Zephyrian would likely accelerate his decline." After the doctor left, Vera sat quietly for several minutes. Sam could see her internal struggle playing out on her expressive features. "You don't have to stay here," Sam told her. "I'm sure you have important things to do." "The peace negotiations were successful," Vera said. "The Korath Federation and our empire have agreed to end the war. Your sacrifice made that possible. That's good. That's what matters. What matters is that you are dying because you protected me, and I cannot accept that." Vera stood up with sudden determination. "I must speak with my mother." Queen Thesha of the Zephyrian Empire was not what Sam had expected when she finally came to visit him 2 days later. The queen was shorter than her daughter, with darker crystalline skin that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Her silver hair was bound in elaborate braids that marked her royal status, and her eyes held the hardness of someone who had made difficult decisions for many years. "So you are the human mercenary," she said, looking down at Sam with an expression that was difficult to read. "Your Majesty," Sam replied, trying to sit up straighter despite the pain. "Do not strain yourself," Queen Thesha said, but her tone was neither kind nor cruel. It was simply matter of fact. "My daughter tells me you protected her during the attack. I did my job." "Indeed. And now you are dying because of it." The queen walked to the window and looked out at the capital city beyond. "Vera has requested that I commit imperial resources to finding a cure for your condition." Sam glanced at Princess Vera, who stood near the door with hopeful eyes. "I appreciate the thought, Your Majesty, but I knew the risks when I took this job." "How refreshingly practical," Queen Thesha said. "Most aliens in your position would be begging for their lives or making demands. Yet you accept your fate with dignity. What's the alternative?" Queen Thesha turned back to face him. "My daughter believes you are something special. A hero worthy of legends. But I see a mercenary who was simply doing what he was paid to do." Sam felt Vera tense behind the queen. This was clearly not going the way the princess had hoped. "You are correct, Your Majesty. I was hired to protect the princess, and that's what I did. Then you understand why I cannot justify spending enormous resources to save one alien mercenary. The Empire has millions of citizens whose needs must come first. I understand completely. Queen Thesha studied him for a long moment. Good. Then we are in agreement. You will receive the best palliative care we can provide to keep you comfortable, but no extraordinary measures will be taken. After the queen left, Princess Vera sat heavily in her chair. Her silver eyes were bright with unshed tears. I am sorry, Sam. I thought if she met you, if she saw what kind of person you are, she might change her mind. Your mother is right, Sam said gently. She has responsibilities to her people. I'm just one person, and not even one of her people at that. But you saved my life. That should count for something. It counts for everything to me. I got to do my job right. That's more than a lot of people can say. That evening, Princess Vera returned to the royal palace with a plan. She found her mother in the throne room, reviewing reports from across the empire. Mother, I need to show you something. Vera, we have already discussed this matter. My decision is final. Please. Just watch this recording, and then I will never speak of it again. Queen Thesha sighed but gestured for her daughter to proceed. A large holographic display activated, showing security footage from the diplomatic vessel. The recording began with Sam checking his weapons while Vera sat across from him. Queen Thesha watched with mild interest as the attack began and Sam escorted her daughter to the safe room. Show me the important part, the queen said impatiently. This is the important part, Vera replied, fast-forwarding to the beginning of the siege. Queen Thesha watched as Sam took position in the safe room, preparing to defend it alone against multiple attackers. Her expression remained neutral until the first assault began. The recording showed Sam's methodical defense, how he used the room's layout to his advantage, how he made every shot count. But what caught Queen Thesha's attention was something else entirely. Pause it there, she said suddenly. The hologram froze at the moment when the attackers offered Sam safe passage in exchange for surrendering Vera. Play his response. Because I gave my word, Sam's voice echoed in the throne room. Queen Thesha stared at the frozen image. Continue. The recording played on, showing hour after hour of Sam's impossible defense. The queen watched in growing amazement as the human refused multiple offers of mercy, refused to abandon his post even when clearly outmatched and outnumbered. But it was the final hour that truly captured her attention. The recording showed Sam, clearly dying from his wounds, barely able to stand, still firing at attackers with his last ammunition. Stop the recording, Queen Thesha said quietly. The hologram disappeared, leaving the throne room in relative darkness. He could have surrendered at any time, the queen said slowly. They offered him his life multiple times. But he refused, Vera said. Even when he knew he was dying, even when any reasonable person would have given up, he kept fighting. Queen Thesha walked to her throne and sat down heavily. In Zephyrian culture, honor was everything. Their entire civilization was built on concepts of duty, loyalty, and sacrifice. But even among her warrior people, what Sam had done was extraordinary. 6 hours, she murmured. One human, alone, against 15 trained extremists. And he never wavered. Mother, in our oldest legends, the greatest heroes of our people are remembered for exactly this kind of stand. The warrior who holds the mountain pass against impossible odds. The guardian who dies before abandoning their charge. Those are myths, daughter. Stories to inspire children. Are they? Because I just watched one of those myths happen in real life. Queen Thesha was quiet for several minutes, staring at the empty space where the hologram had been. In our history, she finally said, we tell the story of General Keth, who held the gates of our first city against 1,000 enemies for an entire day, dying with his sword in his hand. We tell the story of Commander Nera, who flew her damaged ship into an enemy fleet to save a colony world. And now we can tell the story of Sam Torres, who held a safe room for 6 hours to protect an alien princess he barely knew. The difference, Vera, is that Keth and Nira were Zephyrian. They were raised in our culture, taught from birth that honor matters more than life. This human had no such training, no cultural obligation to sacrifice himself. Yet he did it anyway. Which makes it even more remarkable. Queen Thesha stood and paced to the window, looking out at the lights of her capital city. In our culture, we believe that honor is the highest virtue. We teach our children that it is better to die with honor than to live with shame. But perhaps we have been wrong about something. What do you mean? We assumed that only Zephyrians truly understood honor. We believed that other species were inherently inferior because they lacked our warrior traditions. The queen turned back to her daughter. But what if honor is not learned? What if it is something deeper, something that exists in exceptional individuals regardless of their species? Sam proved that it is possible. Yes. He proved that a human can possess the soul of a Zephyrian warrior. And if one human can do this, what does that say about humanity as a whole? Vera felt hope beginning to grow in her chest. Mother, does this mean dash? It means I have been foolish, Queen Thesha interrupted. I have been so focused on the cost of saving one alien that I failed to see the true value of what he represents. Then you will help him? Queen Thesha was quiet for another moment, then she activated her communication device. General Corex, report to the throne room immediately. And contact the Science Ministry. I want every expert in xenobiology, medicine, and biochemistry brought to the capital within the next 12 hours. Mother? Vera asked uncertainly. You said I should watch that recording and I would never speak of this again, Queen Thesha said with a slight smile. But you failed to consider that watching it might change my mind. You are going to save him. I am going to try. Not because he is a mercenary who did his job, but because he is a warrior who embodied the highest ideals of honor. And any species capable of producing such individuals deserves our respect and our aid. 2 hours later, the royal palace was bustling with activity as scientists and doctors arrived from across the empire. Queen Thesha had made it clear that this was now a priority project with unlimited resources. In the medical center, Sam dozed fitfully, unaware that his fate was being decided by debates raging in conference rooms throughout the capital. Princess Vera returned to his bedside and took his hand gently. Sam, she whispered. I do not know if you can hear me, but I want you to know that you changed everything today. Not just for me, but for my entire people. My mother finally understands what I saw in that safe room. She understands that honor is not about species or culture. It is about choice. Sam's eyes fluttered open. Princess. What's happening? There are a lot of people running around out there. Vera smiled, and for the first time in days, it was a smile of genuine hope. My mother has decided that the Zephyrian Empire owes you a debt of honor. And she always pays her debts. Within 6 hours of Queen Thesha's decision, the Royal Medical Center had transformed into something resembling a military command post. Scientists, doctors, and researchers from across the Zephyrian Empire worked around the clock in hastily assembled laboratories. The Queen had made her priorities clear: saving Sam Torres was now a matter of imperial honor. Dr. Marin, the Empire's leading expert in xenobiology, stood before a holographic display showing human cellular structure. Around her, 24 specialists analyzed data streaming in from multiple sources. The toxin works by breaking down the bonds between cells, Dr. Marin explained to her team. In Zephyrian physiology, our natural crystalline structure resists this effect. But human biology relies on completely different cellular mechanisms. What about synthetic alternatives? Asked Dr. Voss, a biochemist who had arrived from the outer colonies. Could we replace the damaged tissue with biocompatible substitutes? Possible, but risky. We would essentially be rebuilding his entire circulatory and nervous system while he is still alive. Queen Thesha entered the laboratory without ceremony. The scientists immediately stopped their discussions and turned to face her. "Report," she said simply. "Your Majesty, we have identified 3 potential approaches," Dr. Marin said. "Each carries significant risks, but they represent our best options." "Explain them." "First, we could attempt to synthesize human-compatible antitoxins using samples from other species. We have already contacted several governments that might possess relevant medical knowledge." "Including the humans themselves?" "Yes, Majesty. We sent a priority message to Earth's government and medical institutions. They are sending their best xenobiology experts on the fastest ship available." Queen Thesha nodded. "The second approach?" "Cellular replacement therapy. We would gradually replace his damaged tissue with laboratory-grown alternatives designed to be compatible with human biology." "And the third?" Dr. Marin hesitated. "Complete biological reconstruction. We would essentially rebuild his body from the genetic level up, using his own DNA as a template but incorporating Zephyrian biocompatibility factors." "That sounds extremely dangerous." "It is. But it is also the most likely to succeed if the other methods fail." Queen Thesha looked at the holographic display showing Sam's deteriorating condition. "Begin all 3 approaches simultaneously. Coordinate with each other, but do not let one approach slow down the others. Your Majesty, the cost of such an undertaking would be enormous. We are talking about resources equivalent to building a new starship." "Dr. Marin, are you familiar with the Battle of the Iron Gates?" "Of course, Majesty. General Keth's legendary last stand. We built a monument to General Keth that cost more than 10 starships. We consider it money well spent because it honors the ideals our empire represents." Queen Thesha gestured toward the medical bay where Sam lay unconscious. "That human embodies those same ideals. If we cannot save him, what does that say about our commitment to honor?" The next 72 hours became a blur of activity. Human medical experts arrived on emergency transport ships, sharing everything they knew about human biology. Zephyrian scientists worked alongside researchers from 6 different allied species, each contributing their unique knowledge. Princess Vera barely left Sam's side during this period. She watched as teams of medical technicians attached new monitoring equipment and administered experimental treatments. Sam drifted in and out of consciousness, sometimes aware enough to speak briefly, other times lost in fever dreams caused by the toxins ravaging his system. "The human delegation is requesting an audience," Captain Reeves told Princess Vera during one of her brief breaks from the medical bay. The ship's former commander had stayed on Zephyros Prime to coordinate with Earth's government. "They want to see Sam. They want to understand why Queen Thesha is investing so much in saving one person. Apparently, this level of medical intervention is unprecedented in galactic politics." Vera looked back toward the medical bay. "Bring them to the observation deck. They should see what we are fighting for." Dr. Sarah Chen, Earth's leading expert in toxicology, arrived with 3 other human specialists. They had traveled for days to reach Zephyros Prime, pushing their ship's engines beyond safe limits. "Princess Vera," Dr. Chen said as she was introduced. "I have to ask, why is your government doing all this? No offense, but Sam Torres is just one mercenary." Earth's government is grateful, but confused. Instead of answering immediately, Vera led the human delegation to the observation deck overlooking the main laboratory. Below them, dozens of scientists worked with equipment worth millions of credits, all focused on saving one human life. "Dr. Chen, what do you know about Zephyrian culture?" "The basics. You value honor, military prowess, loyalty to the empire. Those things are true. But what truly defines us is our belief that some things are more important than practical concerns. Honor, courage, sacrifice, these matter more than money or convenience." Dr. Chen watched the frantic activity below. "And Sam demonstrated these qualities. He did something that even our greatest warriors would find difficult. He held an impossible position for 6 hours, refused multiple offers of mercy, and never wavered in his duty. Vera turned to face the human doctor. My mother realized that if humanity can produce individuals like Sam Torres, then your entire species deserves our respect and partnership. You are doing all this to honor one person's actions. We are doing this because his actions prove that humans and Zephyrians share the same understanding of what truly matters. Dr. Chen stared down at the laboratories with new understanding. I think I am beginning to see why this is so important to you. The breakthrough came on the fourth day. Dr. Voss discovered that a combination of human cellular regeneration techniques and Zephyrian biocompatibility factors could neutralize the toxins without destroying Sam's natural biology. It will require 3 separate procedures, he explained to the assembled medical team. First, we flush his system with modified Zephyrian antitoxins to stop the cellular breakdown. Then we use human regeneration therapy to repair the existing damage. Finally, we introduce biocompatibility factors that will make him resistant to similar toxins in the future. Side effects? Dr. Chen asked. Unknown. This has never been attempted before. He might experience changes in his physical capabilities, enhanced healing, possibly improved resistance to various environmental hazards. Or it might not work at all, Dr. Marin added honestly. Princess Vera looked at the team of experts. What are his chances without the treatment? He will be dead within 2 days. And with it? Maybe 60% chance of survival. But if he does survive, he will likely be stronger than before. When they explained the options to Sam during one of his lucid moments, his response was characteristically direct. Do it, he said weakly. If it does not work, at least you tried everything possible. The procedures took 18 hours. Queen Thesha herself waited in the medical center, pacing the corridors as reports came in from the operating room. Princess Vera sat in the observation area, watching through reinforced windows as teams of specialists worked to save the human who had saved her life. The first procedure is complete, Dr. Marin announced. The antitoxins are working. His cellular breakdown has stopped. 4 hours later, second procedure successful. His damaged tissue is regenerating at an accelerated rate. 6 hours after that, final procedure complete. All vital signs are stable and improving. Sam Torres opened his eyes 3 days later to find Princess Vera asleep in the chair beside his bed. But something was different. His vision was sharper, his hearing more acute. He could feel strength returning to his body at a rate that seemed impossible. Princess, he said softly. Vera woke immediately. Sam. How do you feel? Different. Better. Like I have been rebuilt from the inside out. In many ways, you have been. She pressed a button to call the medical team. The procedures were successful, but there have been some unexpected side effects. Dr. Chen arrived with Dr. Marin and several other specialists. They ran a series of tests that confirmed what Sam was already feeling. Your physical capabilities have been enhanced significantly, Dr. Chen explained. Your strength, speed, reflexes, and healing rate are all well above normal human levels. The biocompatibility factors seem to have integrated with your natural biology in ways we did not expect, Dr. Marin added. You are still completely human, but you now possess some characteristics that will allow you to function in environments that would normally be hostile to your species. What does that mean, exactly? It means you could survive in Zephyrian gravity, breathe our atmosphere, eat our food. You have become the first truly dual-species compatible human. Queen Thesha entered the room, her expression showing satisfaction in something that might have been pride. Mr. Torres, I am pleased to see you have recovered. Thank you, Your Majesty. I understand the Empire invested considerable resources in saving me. Indeed we did. And now we must discuss what comes next. Sam sat up carefully, testing his newfound strength. I assume my contract has ended. I will return to Earth once I am cleared for travel. That is not acceptable. Sam blinked in surprise. Your Majesty. The Zephyrian Empire has invested the equivalent of a military starship in saving your life. You now possess medical modifications that represent years of research and development. You have been enhanced with our most advanced biotechnology. I did not ask for any of that. No, you did not. But you earned it through your actions. Queen Thesha moved to the window and looked out at her capital city. More importantly, you have become a symbol of something unprecedented. You are living proof that humans and Zephyrians can work together, trust each other, and share the same values. I still do not understand what you want from me. Queen Thesha turned back to face him. I want you to stay. Accept Zephyrian citizenship. Become the first human royal guardian in our empire's history. The room fell silent. Even the medical equipment seemed to quiet down as everyone waited for Sam's response. Your Majesty, I am honored by the offer, but I am not sure I would be a good fit for court life. Who said anything about court life? Queen Thesha smiled. Royal guardians are field operatives. They handle special missions, diplomatic security, situations that require someone with unique qualifications. Princess Vera leaned forward. Sam, you would be perfect for it. Someone who understands both human and Zephyrian cultures, who has proven his dedication to protecting others. There is more, Queen Thesha continued. Your government on Earth has been informed of our offer. They are very interested in establishing a formal alliance with the Empire. Having a human citizen in our royal guard would facilitate that relationship considerably. Sam considered this. An alliance? Trade agreements, mutual defense pacts, shared technology development. Your actions have opened doors that seemed impossible just weeks ago. Dr. Chen spoke up from beside the medical monitors. Sam, Earth's government has asked me to tell you that they fully support whatever decision you make. But they hope you will consider the broader implications for human-alien relations. You mean this is bigger than just me? Much bigger, Queen Thesha confirmed. You proved that humans possess qualities we greatly respect. Now we want to learn what else humanity might teach us. Sam looked around the room at all the faces watching him. Princess Vera, hopeful and encouraging. Queen Thesha, regal but genuinely interested in his answer. Dr. Chen and the other humans, representing his home world's hopes for the future. If I accept, what exactly would my duties involve? Initially, you would serve as a liaison between our species. Help us understand human culture while learning more about ours. Eventually, you would take on missions that require your unique background and capabilities. And Earth would benefit from this arrangement. Enormously. The Zephyrian Empire controls significant trade routes and possesses technologies that could advance human civilization by decades. Sam was quiet for several minutes, considering everything he had been told. Finally, he looked directly at Queen Thesha. Your Majesty, I have one question before I decide. Ask it. If I accept this position, am I still free to leave if it does not work out? Or does accepting citizenship mean I belong to the Empire permanently? Queen Thesha smiled broadly. Mr. Torres, the fact that you ask that question proves you understand the difference between duty and slavery. A royal guardian serves by choice, always. If you ever wish to return to Earth, you may do so with our gratitude and continued friendship. In that case, Your Majesty, I accept. The ceremony took place 1 week later in the Empire's Grand Hall. Representatives from Earth attended alongside Zephyrian nobles and officials from across the galaxy. Sam Torres became the first human citizen of the Zephyrian Empire and the first alien royal guardian in their history. But the real significance became clear in the months that followed. The alliance between Earth and the Zephyrian Empire transformed galactic politics. Humanity gained access to advanced technology and new trade opportunities, while the Empire discovered that humans brought creativity and adaptability that complemented Zephyrian strength and honor. Other species took notice. If the proud Zephyrians considered humanity worthy of respect and partnership, perhaps it was time to reevaluate their own relationships with the young species from Earth. San Torres had held a safe room for 6 hours to protect an alien princess. In doing so, he had changed the destiny of 2 civilizations and opened a new chapter in galactic history. As Princess Vera said during the ceremony, sometimes the greatest victories come not from conquering others, but from proving yourself worthy of their respect. Queen Thesha's closing words echoed throughout the galaxy. The Zephyrian Empire has learned that honor is not the exclusive property of any one species. Today we welcome humanity not as subjects or allies of convenience, but as partners who share our deepest values. Together, we will build a future worthy of the sacrifice that brought us together.